92.7 WOBM. Shawn Michaels with you this morning, and we are talking with United States Air Force Captain Mark Leslie Hunnibell all about a historic trip across America by motorcycle. In fact, coming right through here in Toms River through Ocean County in the process as well. So good morning, Mark. Welcome to the program, and this is quite an undertaking that you're doing.
Good morning, and yes, it sure is. Thanks for having me.
Now, of course, this is accompanying the book Across America by Motorcycle, which is done by Mark and also C.K. Shepard. Now, when we talk about this, let's give some background here. This trip is a trip that you're doing to recreate what was done 100 years ago. Tell us a little bit about that, how this came about.
Well, I was getting ready to restore my own Henderson, 1919 Henderson, and I started looking for period references to that bike and what it could do and things like that. And I came across this book that C.K. Shepard had written that he wrote across the country in 1919 on the same make and model bike that I had. And I was fascinated by it, and I had this little germ of an idea that I would recreate the ride. And so as my own motorcycle began getting nearing completion on the restoration, that started happening. And I said, well, I could do a centennial celebration. So I had to research it because the book that he wrote on his travels, Shepard, was not really a travelogue or a diary or anything like that. It was quite it was a very personal journey kind of thing. So I had to really get into the detail on the book and do as much reverse engineering on his actual itinerary as I could.
You're kicking this off for the 4th of July, which is pretty cool, too, with the 4th of July holiday in recreating this 100-year celebration anniversary of this, the centennial, if you will, of this. Now, he was a British Royal Air Force captain. You're a United States Air Force captain. So there's kind of a connection here.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. He was a maintenance officer, rebuilt aircraft engines in France during World War I. And so he came over here after the war to blow off a little steam and relax and maybe sell some stuff. He was a bit of an inventor and himself. And so he came over and bought a bike in Manhattan and drove it across the country and sold it and went back home and wrote a book about it 2 years later.
All right, now you're recreating his actual trip. You're going town by town, like you're following the same exact trek that he did 100 years ago, right?
That's right. What I did was every place that he mentions a place in the book, I put a pin in the map. I said, okay, that's here, that's here, that's here. And I basically said, these are the dots that I have to connect. Then I went back and figured out what roads existed between those dots back in 1919 and reverse engineered the whole route on the timeline that he had. And I found some places where he made some statements about how far he went and things like that really couldn't have happened. But the essence of the story is correct. And I think what happens is the further away you get from it, you don't remember how many times you stopped, or you couldn't remember if you stopped on Tuesday or Wednesday, if you were there for 10 nights or 8 nights. So those are the kinds of problems that I had trying to reconcile discrepancies between what could have been and what was. And so I made a best faith effort to identify the actual roads that were in existence back then. Can I drive on them today? And if so, what is their condition? So I've actually done a complete route survey coast to coast of the entire route.
Now, this is pretty amazing. Now, on this trip, you're going to be using this Henderson motorcycle. This is the same type of motorcycle that he would have used 100 years ago in 1919, right?
That's correct. It's the same make and model. Yep.
Very nice. Are there any Hendersons even around today? I mean, it's not a company or a brand that's still in production. Obviously, these are all antiques at this point, right?
Right. The Hendersons stopped making Hendersons. The Hendersons brothers sold their company to Ignat Schwinn, who built Excelsior motorcycles. And they built them Henderson motorcycles as a separate brand through 1931, and when Excelsior just shut down all operations.
Now,
but in any case, but today there are no Hendersons being built. That's correct.
Now, you're going to start your trip on the 4th of July?
Right, that's correct. Yep.
You're going to be starting in Manhattan. Is that where he started, right?
Right. Well, he actually left near as I can tell, the 13th or 14th of June.
Mm-hmm.
But he took longer to do it. And he started in Manhattan. And the first day he went up to Coney Island and then came back. And I got a nice invitation from Triumph Brooklyn to have a bit of a reception after I come back from Coney Island. So we're going to have a reception that night on the 3rd of July. And then I'm going to actually leave from their dealership on the 4th of July and go across the Williamsburg Bridge, cross town, going to the Holland Tunnel, and on my way down through Newark, and then on down to southern Jersey, to Atlantic City, and stopping in Toms River for the night.
Now, you're going to be stopping with us here for the night. On what night will you be coming into Toms River, though? You'll be here on the 4th, or will that be the 5th?
On the 4th. I'll arrive on the 4th of July. My book answer is that I'll be there at 12:15 in the afternoon. My reality tells me I'll be there when I'll be there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we welcome you when you come through Toms River, and of course, we're glad to be part of this historic trip. And now, did he go through Toms River back in 1919 when he did the trip?
I think he did. He didn't mention Toms River, but he did say in one of his publications, he doesn't mention it in the book, but he wrote a serialized article in a motorcycle magazine that was published quite quickly after the trip, and I think he said that he camped in I want to say Lakehurst. I don't know if that's really where he was, but it was someplace in Jersey, and so Toms River seemed like a good fit for that.
Yeah, of course, the Naval Air Station, Lakehurst, is right out there, right outside here of Toms River.
He didn't write about that stop in the book, and he wrote about other things. He wrote about a stop in Philadelphia in the book.
Mm-hmm.
That is a little fantastic story, because in the serialized article he says he didn't remember where he stayed in Philadelphia.
Yeah. And
so I thought, well, that's kind of strange. 2 months after the event, you don't remember where you stayed, but 3 years later you had this great story about you stayed in the shop of a florist shop and stuff. So I don't know. Anyway, I think he was a great writer, and I think he enjoyed himself immensely. And so where the tale was not quite exciting enough he told a good fish story here and there, I think.
Very nice. And you hope to arrive in California and be done when?
On the 6th of August is the plan.
Very good.
I've got reservations all the way across. So anyway, your listeners want to. I'm staying at the Days Hotel by Wyndham out on I think it's 37.
Yes, you'll be right there on 37.
Right, and so if anybody's out there in the afternoon, I'm going to have on the website. You can see it tracking where I am. If you want to come by and visit, the hotel doesn't particularly want a gathering of crowds, but they said 4 or 5 people. That's not a big deal. But I should be out there because we're going to be repacking the trailer and things like that. So you're sure welcome to come out and stop by and take a look at the bike.
You won't see too many Hendersons going down 37 on the 4th of July, so there's a good chance they'll spot you if they see that Henderson.
No, the next morning, I came over here. I'm having to paint the trailer painted with custom artwork here at Air Graphics here in Toms River, and they don't. That's their contribution. They're going to paint this thing for me. So I came over here on the way over, and I said, well, this is the road we're leaving the hotel on. We came right through Toms River, that double turn to go down south and down on the main street and stuff. I said, yeah, so this is good.
Very nice. We will look for you. Maybe we'll see you on our. We'll be out and about for the 4th of July, of course, and we look forward to it. Folks can get your book, by the way. This is available Amazon.com, bookstores everywhere.
That's correct. Barnes & Noble, if you prefer that. And if you meet me someplace, I'll probably sell you an autographed copy.
Very nice. Excellent. Well, listen, we want to wish you the best of luck. We want to wish you a safe trip through our neck of the woods here in Ocean County, and we will look forward to you getting out in August to California safely. And we want to thank U.S. Air Force Captain Mark Leslie Hunnibell and his trip across America by motorcycle. Thanks for being with us, and happy 4th of July.
Hey, thanks very much. Have a good afternoon.